Have you been listening to the Ghana Bar Association and the MPP on the suspension of the CJ and the petitions to get her out and the issues around it? Have you been listening to them? What are your thoughts?
I've listened to them severally. This is not the first time I've listened to Bar Association. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all.
Why are you not surprised?
Oh, no, I've listened to them severally. From PNDC, when they came in 1992 Constitution, they managed to put them in the Constitution. You see, we were so magnanimous by recognizing them in the 1992 Constitution. You know, Professor Azar is saying they should be taken out. Because there are a lot of other associations in Ghana which are not in the Constitution, which are also very important bodies. But you see, the PNDC at that time, very magnanimous, recognized they are important, although they refused to participate in the writing of the Constitution.
Right.
These people.
Right.
They have not seen anything good. Today, they are enjoying the Constitution, 1992 Constitution. They are talking and speaking loudly. If they had participated, some of the difficulties they are talking, they would have made sure that it's sanitized. Now, 8 years, Nanado was the president of Ghana.
Right.
Didn't you have a Ghana Bar Association?
We did, of course.
And so what were they doing? They virtually, some of them said they were now watching cartoons and other things. They see nothing, they hear nothing. Is it because Nanado was one of them, a lawyer, and they felt that this is our lawyer president sitting there, so we have no business in criticizing and what he was doing. He was running down the Constitution left and right. Just running down the Constitution, nobody said anything. Even the Supreme Court cited Nanado for violating this Constitution on the issue of Domlevu.
That's right, 990.
Yes. What did they see? Did you see any love letter from Ghana Bar Association? They were quiet. You see, sometimes when you talk, then they say you are attacking them. This hypocrisy in this country is becoming legendary. That is why the country seems not to be developing. We must face it and tell people their face. That look, John Dramani Mahama is not the first president of this constitution. Several presidents came before he came. They used the same articles in this constitution to govern the country. He's doing the same. He hasn't done anything wrong.
But they say it sounds like an attack. The MPP says it sounds like an attack on the judiciary. We should protect the integrity of the judiciary. GBA talks about the rule of law, fairness, and all of those principles. They do have a point, don't they?
When Venerable Kandapa, National Security Minister, cautioned the Supreme Court over the way of their one-way ruling, was it an attack on the judiciary? This was a minister, a cabinet minister, the one in charge of national security. Told them, live cameras, that this your one-way ruling, at least it's also giving us headaches, sleepless nights. That's not what he told them. That they should do something about it. So that time, GBA didn't see anything wrong with that. They were comfortable with the way, to the extent, even the governed at that time, the ruling class, were not even comfortable with the way they were behaving. Although it was in their benefit. But they themselves were not comfortable. Because they saw through that some of the ruling it was so interesting. It was so predictable that anytime you were going to court, you knew what results you were going to get. To the extent the National Security Minister spoke extensively against this and think that was not the best way to go. Look, Nana Akufo-Addo appointed over 50 judges to the High Court, Appeal Court, and the Supreme Court. Currently, as we speak, there are 13 justices at the Supreme Court. Two of them were appointed by two former presidents. The acting Chief Justice.
In fact, there are 14. So there's a president.
The president is there. Because she's suspended, we say she should stay.
But she remains a judge until the matter is decided.
It's decided. She's still a judge. So Nana, Bafo Boni, Justice Bafo Boni, was appointed in 2008
by President Kufuor.
President Kufuor. Then Pwama, who was appointed then President Mahama in his first time. The rest of the 12 are appointed by Nana Akufo-Addo.
What's your point?
My point is, who is attacking the judiciary? What has he done that he has attacked the judiciary? Professor Kukuza Azar wrote a petition to Nana Akufo-Addo that Justice Tokono should be removed from office. Nana Akufo-Addo, receiving the petition under Article 146, sent the petition to the Council of State to look at. The Council of State sat through it, saw that there was no prima facie case after they look at it. And so they delivered their verdict to Nana Akufo-Addo back that we haven't found anything wrong against the performance of the Chief Justice.
Right.
So therefore dismiss the matter. Nana Akufo-Addo didn't blink his eye. He dismissed the petition outright. He went through the process. That is why he didn't sit in his office at the Flagstaff House and just dismiss it after the petition came.
Right.
He sent it to the Council of State. Fast forward, a new president came into power. Another group also saw something wrong with the same Chief Justice and also wrote the same article, wrote a petition to the president. The president looked at the petition and said, okay, this one, I don't have the power to dismiss or accept it. I have to pass it through. At the same article, the same way Nanado did, and send it to the Council of State. They even sent a copy to the Chief Justice. The Chief Justice returned her response to the Council of State. They wanted to hear from her. After listening to her on her responses, they found that there is a prima facie case for her to answer. Based on that, under Article 1466, he has to set a committee, 5-man committee, to look into the matter. And then under the same Article 146, Clause 10, the president has discretionary power. And for the benefit of the...
296, you mean?
I mean 146, Clause 10.
But discretion emanates from Act 296.
They are how to exercise it.
Okay.
That's why we said 296.
Right.
How to exercise the discretion. And I'm saying that the Clause 10 talk of the discretionary powers of the president. And if the president has discretionary power, is he the first person to exercise discretionary power in Ghana? Johnnie, listen. Where a petition has been referred to a committee under this article, the president may, that is the discretion, may, in the case of the Chief Justice, acting in accordance with the advice of the Council of State, by warrant signed by him, suspend the Chief Justice. 1992, written by the learned Ghanaians. In fact, some of them were farmers, they were masons, seamstress. They all came together and put these things together. We agree, yes. I voted on that year. Yes, to this
referendum.
The referendum. We did it. Adubahin and Co were running around and said we should vote no against it. We know them. We know how they are. That we should vote no against this. Judges have discretion, or they don't have discretion. Johnnie, judges, they have discretionary powers.
They do.
Even lower courts, the magistrate, they also have discretionary powers. Sometimes when they want to sentence somebody, they look at the person, they plea from the councils. And then if they were to take the upper limit, now because of the plea and other thing, they go for the lower. That's their discretion. They can decide to give you 20 years, or they will say because of the way you plead, this is your first time, let's give him 5 years. It's the discretion. The law allows that.
Right.
And how come the president cannot exercise discretionary power? Is it capricious? That's what you are talking of. 296. Is it capricious? It's not capricious. The man is saying, you are the Chief Justice. A committee is set to investigate you. Why will you continue to be a Chief Justice while you are being investigated? Just to make it fair. Just step aside. So that you can have ample time to deal with this.
But the MPP says they are going on a demonstration.
That is the hypocrisy here.
Why is it hypocritical? You were on a demonstration for the removal of the Chief Justice, the former chief, the Bank of Ghana governor. The NDC was on a demonstration. In fact, you were called hooligans on that day.
Yes, I remember. And I'm saying that, look,
now the MPP wants to demonstrate on the removal of another big fish.
I'm saying that is where the hypocrisy comes from. I've just run you through what happened under Nanado. And the same thing is happening under President John Dramani Mahama. And some people think that he doesn't have... The MPP has designed a grand plan to undermine the authority of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
How would you say that? But you don't get that from the tone of the press conferences that are held.
That is it. The person's reading the press and talking tough forgot that the same thing happened under Nana Akufo-Addo. A petition was sent to him. So imagine at that time, there was a prima facie case against the lady. So this Nana Akufo-Addo was saying, I'm not going to pursue the matter. I'm not going to form a committee. Was it what he was going to do? So because this Council of State found a prima facie case against the lady, hell must break loose. Hell must break loose. And because it's John Dramani Mahama who is the president, implementing his executive powers there in the constitution. Some group of people think that he shouldn't be president.
I don't think this is about personality. I think it's about the law.
I'm saying it. It's not about law.
You are insisting it is about the personality.
It's about personality and the party involved. Because what is different from what Nana Akufo-Addo did? Tell me the difference. What is the difference? Under the same Article 146, Nana Akufo-Addo passed the petition, Koku Azar petition to Council of State. Council of State returned a verdict and Nana Akufo-Addo dismissed because the verdict said there was no prima facie. This time, Council of State, with these legal luminaries in it, found a prima facie case and said, since there is a prima facie, a committee must be set. The president said the committee and asked that the woman should step aside and hell must break loose because it's John Dramani.
There are those who hold the view also that, look, this is in the book, the letter of the thing, but, it should not be implemented because, it's just there to, guide us, but not to be implemented. I'm sure you heard that argument.
I heard that argument. Sometimes I ask myself, I'm a student of law. I'm not a lawyer yet. But my reading of the law tells me very clear that when they brought the constitution into force, we voted yes for it. It means everything in that constitution must be implemented until it is amended. It's a law. If you violate any of it, the punishment therein is there. And I was expecting the same group who are making this noise. When Nana Akufo-Addo was violating the constitution, he should have been impeached. They should have asked for his impeachment. But they were quiet. Because it's MPP and Nana Akufo-Addo. Today, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has not violated even one clause under an article here. He hasn't. He has followed through the process. He has made sure that the sanctity of the Constitution is upheld. He has made sure that the lady liberty and then interest is hugely protected by the Constitution. The president has not done anything against the Chief Justice. The president made sure that she's properly taken care of. That's why the president has not sidestepped the process and asked that just go and avail yourself before the committee. If you are able to talk and exonerate yourself, the committee found favors in what you have said, you return to your job. Is that not what it is?
So this is not witch hunting.
Who is witch hunting who? That is the problem. But compare that one to when they sacked Charlotte Osei. In 2016, these people were on platform, campaign platform, warning that when they get power, they were going to remove her because John Mahama brought her. And that John Mahama brought her to rig the elections and all this. It was all over there in 2016.
The same argument is being made about you and the Supreme Court judges who have now been nominated to be appointed after vetting by Parliament. Same argument is being made now. Yes, sir.
Has John Dramani Mahama stood somewhere during the campaign era to say, if I come, I'm going to remove the Chief Justice and the Justice?
He said he wants to balance the bench.
That's the words of MPP. Nobody said it. I was in that meeting in September.
He didn't say that.
He never said such it.
That he was going to balance
No.
Lawyers in the NDC should take advantage of the fact that the bench is
that's
available.
what I'm saying. MPP is always setting an agenda. When you defeat them in one time, they'll cook another one. The first one they came out was that John Dramani Mahama met lawyers for NDC and told them that he was going to remove the justices of the Supreme Court and Chief Justice. When the evidence came out, they ran away from that evidence. Now they are back to say balance. That we said he was going to balance it. Johnny, interestingly, now I'm not dead. I'm alive. I was in that meeting. I sat through the meeting at home.
What did he say?
His Excellency was telling our lawyers, fine brains. We have the finest brains when it comes to legal matter in NDC.
You are telling me.
They're there. There are a lot of them. But they don't want to go to the bench. They always enjoy themselves at the bar, doing their private district. And he told them, look, this best brain some of you have, if you make it available to the bench, it will assist the country governance. Because some of the things I hear from some of you and the legal thing, the way some of them are lecturers at Ghana Law School and all the legal stuff, but they don't want to go to the bench. So if you don't go to the bench and these people take over the place and they are given this kind of ruling they are given to the extent the National Security Minister is even worried about that kind of ruling. So take it on board that some of you should take interest in going to the what? To the bench. He was just advising them to come in because they have the best brains. And it's true. That's why they are saying if the best people refuse to vote, illiterates will go or fools will go and vote for a president for you and you'll be in trouble.
Doc.
That's what happened.